What is good, everybody? The new Halo Infinite networking update has been out now for a few days, and I'm seeing mixed reports online. Some people loving it, some people hating it. The return of blank shots, or blood shots, and heavy aim is back. This is basically an issue present in older Halo games. Essentially what they did with the new network update is pretty much adapt, I think, Halo 5's networking model into Halo Infinite, so some of those quirks have come back. In the video, I'm going to talk real quick about some of the tips I've done to help alleviate some of the heavy aim issues, and then also to get the game running as smooth as possible. I've had a few people asking in the comments about it, and I've done a bunch of... I've tried to make this work for a long time. I'm on an old, 7-year-old CPU, and so I've made sure to go through as many tip videos as possible. Right before the network update went live, GameSager put out an incredible video talking about some really important tips that help you not lose aim assist, and I think his tips really have helped alleviate, lessen, maybe get rid of altogether the feeling of heavy aim, because truly, I've not felt much heavy aim since the update has gone live. Remember, everybody's going to have a different experience if you're on PC, and depending on where you live and your distance to the data center. So, GameSager's video will be linked down below. I'll give you a brief overview of what's in it in a second. The second video I'm going to link is Accelerate's video. Accelerate's an amazing mouse and keyboard Halo streamer, and he did a ton of work basically putting together some ultimate settings guide, and I'm going to highlight the main things to take away from that. And then finally, if you want to know exactly my visual settings, I'll leave those linked down below for another video. Let's start real quick. GameSager highlights, this is for PC players. If you're on Xbox, not much you can do. Game's sort of already set up to be as optimized as possible for the system. If you have one of the series consoles that supports the higher frame rate and a monitor that does, do that, great. But for GameSager's video, those with a G-Sync or a FreeSync monitor want to turn it on. And then if you go and watch his video, the first half, he talks about a bunch of NVIDIA control panel settings that are super duper helpful. You're putting frame limiters on the game. I don't know why, but screen tearing and big FPS fluctuations cause aim assist to drop in this game. GameSager did hundreds of hours of research to come up with this. And if you really go through and set the NVIDIA control panel settings, for me, it was night and day difference. And I set this up before the network update happened. Tried it, played it, loved it, and it still feels super good. The back half of GameSager's video goes into stuff about injecting reflex into games that don't have it. I didn't mess with that. I'm not going to mess with that. You can if you would like to, but really for NVIDIA GPU users, I highly recommend checking it out. He's even got tips there for the AMD side. Accelerate's video. Okay, he really talks in depth about a ton of things. The number one thing that I think really helped me was getting rid of the minimum frame rate option, turning that just completely to off, setting my max to 120, which is what I can sustainably hold, and no minimum frame rate. This game, Halo Infinite, has the ability to do this dynamic resolution stuff. So if you set your target frame rate to this, your minimum to that, the game in real time will try and change the resolution and qualities of things to hold that target. But I have found with old systems like mine, that introduces weird hitches and timing, and I don't really know why. I'm guessing the CPU's having to look ahead, sort of predict when some of those moments are going to happen. It just creates a lack of smoothness. So if you can go in and change that, number one, probably the most important thing. So all of that stuff is baked into the links down below. If you want to know all of the exact settings, hop in there. But I will just say, for me, anecdotally, the new network update feels phenomenal. Maybe that's just super subjective. I've been making Halo YouTube since 2011, been playing since CE, and so this does feel to me like the older Halo games. You've got some of that latency on a higher ping server where if you throw a projectile, like a grenade, it's going to take a second or two before it leaves your hand. There's quirks, there's issues with it, there's a learning curve. I imagine 343 is going to be listening to feedback from us, so continue to give it. I bet they're going to tweak and improve this as time goes on. For those players who are really far away from data centers, they're having a really hard time. That is a bummer. But they removed lag comp. I don't know, what you can do, where Infinite had pretty generous lag comp, which led to a lot of those weird rubber banding desync circumstances. And now that it's gone, it really does feel more like a legacy Halo title. I'd be very curious, what do you think of the update so far? How does it feel for you? And just continue to give feedback on this one constructively. For me, anecdotally, just personally, I really like the way the game feels right now. Hopefully these tips help you out. If they do, shout outs to those creators, GameSager and Accelerate. And I hope you all have a really great weekend. See you again very soon. Thanks.